Good afternoon. This is Melissa with the StockSwoosh.com and welcome. Today I thought I would go over a gap today, which was TDC. I had such high hopes for this today. I mean, amazing, beautiful, fantastic hopes for this today, and it just didn't end up playing out. The bigger target in this was really 44.50 or 46.50. And those were the dream targets. It really should have gotten at least to $48 though, and it didn't do it. It had one clean, quick plate in the morning, and that was it. However, the market's very bullish today, so this just didn't want to cooperate full throttle. But let's go over it. Here, let's look at the morning. So, saw this last night, loved it. Okay, loved it, loved it, loved it, and loved it in the morning. Open and rallied, and I was fine actually with this rallying all the way up to $50. We'll go back and look and see exactly what it did, but it actually did go right up until a number. It actually went right up until the number was 50.40. It went 3 cents over it. That's fine, and this was totally in play. This hit when it triggered so hard. It was like, it literally traded down, and the moment that it triggered, it was profitable, like 50 plus cents in a millisecond. I mean, it was just like an unbelievable trigger. I haven't seen something trigger this hard and fast in a long time, which means it was ready to break. And then it ran down here. So you got almost $1 out of it in the quick first play, and then you had to be out. I have a rule. You get $1 in 5 minutes or less. You can't let it go against you. You just take the whole trade off, especially if it bounces into reversal time, which it did. Okay, 9:40 is a reversal time, and it bounced right after that. Then it set up again, was holding beautifully in here when it booped a little bit over 50, not a big deal. And then second entry on this, because I like to do second trades. I like to do the first trade for a quick move, or get out half the first move and then hold the rest down and do an add, or take one play full out and then a second play for the bigger target. So, but because something moves so fast like this, you have to be out of the whole thing. There's no reason to hold any of this really. Up this much so fast, it's a nice play to start out your day. So then it rallied back. Then here it is, okay, and it holds 50, and it triggered right in here again. Triggered right in here again beautifully. Fell down, nice solid move in here again. Beautiful. Came back up here and retested. Lovely. You can even add in here. If you take a look at the 5, see what the 5 played out. Then everything started to go kabunk. Here, let's take away this. Okay. So first bar was good, second bar was good, third bar was good, fourth and the 5. This, well, you know, it did what it did, but the market was rallying and holding the huge gap up today. But I wasn't going to give this a million chances. Then this setup in here triggered in the 5. It was nice. It was lovely. It was beautiful. Held, did a topping tail and held, and this happened. And that's a problem. And honestly, at the time that this was doing this 5 minute had started to scoop. You can see it scoop a little bit here, and it was an issue. Now, as it turns out, this chart did fix itself for a period of time and pushed down on the 20-period moving average, pushed down on the 8-period moving average, and even set up on the 15-minute look. This set up. And it's set up at a good time. 10:45 is a reversal time. Followed through at 11 o'clock. Followed through 11:45, 11:15, and even triggered on the 30. Even triggered on the 30 here. And yet, what happened? Wasn't going to give it up today. Wasn't going to give it up at all. When the 60-minute, when this traded over 49.80, the trade was done. It was done. It wasn't going to go back down again and even break the low of the day. And I felt that it was going to do that because it set itself up on the 15-minute chart, but it didn't do it. So the original stop in the second trade was over 50, but you could have lowered it over 49.80 then. Why? Because it shouldn't have violated that. And once it did, the trade was done. So the first trade was beautiful and had a nice quick move in it. The second trade, you could have held through the whole second trade, which I typically do because I'm looking for a bigger target. Or you could have gotten out half the second trade and held the rest down if you didn't want to wait for it to go. But if you waited this whole time and when it finally broke in the 15, you would have thought this was underway. There was one kicker here in here. When this bar opened here, look, didn't break under here. So actually before it even broke over 80, this was a sign. It should have broke 27. It didn't even touch down on 27. And that was a sign in here. That was a sign this wasn't going to do it. So this really should have gotten to $48. It should have gotten there. I would have had to break the low of the day to do that. Actually, all this really needed to do to break was to break 27 and then 49. If this would have broken 27 and 49, it would have broken the low of the day, and then it would have gotten to $48. This is actually a nice gap to watch for continuation move on Monday. Whether or not this is going to hold the high of the day yet remains to be seen. 2 more hours left in the day. This thing is getting a pushback now. Obviously, everyone's realized that the people that were short are getting stopped out. It's causing the push up here. This is a nice weak chart, though. It is a beautiful, fabulous weak chart, and you can see this and how fabulous it is. But, you know, the drought was this morning. The drought was this morning. It had the nice play. It had a quick setup, and that was it. It was done. And the area that it bounced, and when it hit up this morning, the resistance, I do think that's a pretty strong area to hold. But we'll have to see if this is going to do it with the market rallying, if it's actually going to hold the high of the day. I think it's going to, though, because the gap is good. It just didn't want to break and run full on all day. Sometimes these gaps set up, and they're good weak charts, and they set up for a first quick play, and you got to take them, and that could be it. That's why lots of times I'd like to get in aggressively right away, because that might be the only move I get in it in the day if it doesn't want to follow through and trade red all day. I love the ones that follow through red all day, though. I mean, I really, those are my favorite gaps to do in the world, where they just are red the whole day. And that's a beautiful thing. They're basically power trend moves. Power trend moves to the downside when they do it that way, where there's no giving it up. Just no giving it up whatsoever. So this chart is still weak. And it was a nice, quick, fast, quick play right in the morning. However, that being said, the second play didn't have the follow-through. It did have actually a move in it. I mean, if you took the second play at the right place, it actually paid like 50, 60 cents. But obviously, you know, I was looking for a bigger target. I mean, originally I was looking for 44.50. Then I said 46.50. And then once the day got underway and it was late when it broke into the lunch or the late morning period into lunch, I said, you know, $48. $48. And it just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. So in these kinds of stocks, you're looking for a run of $4 or $5 on the day. Can it do it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, it did it right over here. Did it this day. This moved $5.40, 60 cents the day of this gap. So it absolutely can do it. It's just whether or not it was going to hold the weakness, the utter weakness against the market today, and this could not do it. It did it quick in the morning, because in the morning it's on its own. And that's one of the reasons why I like to trade gaps. Now, if this had broken the low of the day right away in the morning and fell hard, then it probably would have stayed red. Look, this is not going to go over the high of the day here. No, it's not going to. The gap is good. Not going to go over the high of the day. And that was a space. That was a number. There's another reason for that as well. So this is Melissa with the StockSwoosh.com. If you have any questions or would like more information on how to trade gaps and find these gaps and rate these gaps and pick them, then feel free to reach out to me. My email is melissa@thestockswoosh.com. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll talk to you next week.